I grew up believing my family was ordinary. My father was a quiet man of discipline and routine, never overly affectionate, but always steady, reliable, and present. My mother was the warm, nurturing one, the glue of our home. For years, I thought I knew everything about them, until one rainy evening when I stumbled upon a secret hidden in the attic that shattered my entire world. While cleaning, I discovered an old trunk filled with letters, photographs, and a leather-bound diary. But the most shocking thing was a passport with my father's picture, only under a completely different name. My heart froze. The man I had called father for 22 years had been living under another identity. Confused and terrified, I confronted him at breakfast the next morning. The moment I placed the passport on the table, his hands shook, and fear flickered in his eyes. For the first time, I saw him break. He confessed in a trembling voice that the name I had always known wasn't his real one. 20 years ago, he had abandoned his old life, his name, his family, and everything he had built. He told me he had no choice. If he hadn't, we would all be dead. My world turned upside down as he revealed a truth buried for decades. He explained that he once worked for a powerful finance company, dealing with money and secrets bigger than I could imagine. One day, he uncovered corruption, illegal deals, dirty money, and connections to dangerous men who could destroy anyone who crossed them. He tried to do the right thing, to expose the truth, but the moment they discovered what he knew, his life became a nightmare. Colleagues disappeared, threats arrived in the mail, and his family was put at risk. So he ran. He changed his name, erased his past, and built a new life far away. For 20 years, he carried this secret, hoping it would die with him. My mother sat in shock, realizing she had been living with a man whose entire past was a shadow. But the worst part was his hesitation when I asked if we were still in danger. His silence told me everything. Soon after, the past came knocking, literally. My father had kept an old hidden phone, and when it rang, his face turned pale. A cold voice on the other end said they had found him. That night, I saw shadows outside our house, 2 men, watching from the street. My father admitted the truth. He hadn't just run away, he had stolen something. Not money or wealth, but evidence. Proof of their crimes, records of their corruption, and photos that could destroy them. For 20 years, he had kept it hidden, hoping never to use it. But now, they knew he still had it. My stomach churned with fear. We weren't safe, not anymore. The men outside weren't going to stop until they got what they came for. And if my father was right, giving them the evidence would not save us, it would only seal our fate. That night, he brought out a black box from his study. Inside were floppy disks, old photos, and a folder filled with documents. Proof of everything he had said. My mother stared at it in disbelief, unable to understand how scraps of paper and old disks could hold so much power. But my father insisted that these documents contained the truth the men outside had spent decades burying. One photo showed him with 2 men in suits, faces that looked powerful, cold, and dangerous. They were the ones he had crossed. He told us they controlled everything from politics to crime. The evidence in his hands could ruin them, and that was why they had hunted him for 2 decades. I asked what we should do. Should we just give them the box and hope they spared us? His answer was firm. No, if we gave it to them, they would kill us anyway. The only way out was through. We had to expose them once and for all. The fear in my chest turned to fire. As I realized he was right. Running would never save us. That night, the phone rang again. The voice was clear. Give us the box tonight, or watch your family burn. My father didn't falter. You'll never get it, he replied. He told us they would come that very night. My heart pounded as we prepared. He handed me a USB drive, saying it contained everything, copied, encrypted, impossible to erase. If anything happens to me, you take this to the police. Don't trust anyone else. Hours later, footsteps echoed outside. The knock on the door was sharp, terrifying. My father opened it, facing the two men in black suits. They demanded the evidence. He refused, but then threw them the leather bag. They grabbed it greedily, but when they opened it, they found not just documents but a phone set to upload the files online. Rage twisted their faces. Before they could act, sirens cut through the night. Red and blue lights flooded the street as police cars pulled up, surrounding the house. My father had outsmarted them. He had tipped off the authorities earlier, ensuring their crimes would be exposed. The men shouted threats as they were dragged away, but it was over. For the first time in 20 years, my father exhaled with relief. My mother collapsed into his arms, tears flowing freely. I stood frozen, still struggling to process everything I had just witnessed. The man I thought was ordinary, quiet, and routine had been living under a storm of secrets all along. And yet, in that moment, I didn't feel betrayed. I felt proud. He hadn't hidden the truth out of selfishness, he had done it to protect us. His secret nearly destroyed him, but in the end, it saved us. Life would never be the same again, but for the first time in years, we were free.